Hello and welcome. It's Susan Taylor Shire, and today is Treasure Chest Tuesday, and it's our time to connect with the wisdom, the beauty, the support, and all love that your spirit, conveyed in a soul, can learn how to master in this life so that you can have all those beautiful elements within you radiating from you and pouring forth as your contribution into this world. Those essences of love and beauty and truth and stability are all here for us. So, as many of you know, I often will hear songs, songs in my head. I'll often hear songs that pertain to something that my guidance wants to bring to me. And this time I heard the lyrics of this song, or the phrase from this song, a Simon and Garfunkel song from many moons ago. It just popped in. These are the days of miracle and wonder. These are the days of miracle and wonder. What an amazing few words to put our focus of attention on. So in the last few weeks, a few weeks ago, I talked about the practice of joy and what it takes to be able to really come into that smile in your heart and practice joy. It has to be a practice because our human capacity has not been oriented to joy at all. We can often feel as though it doesn't exist for us as an individual. We can feel like it doesn't exist for the planet, for sure. That's easy. Then I spoke about sacredness and you as a sacred revelation of the divine and learning to live from a more sacred, divine, holy place and how vital that is. So you can go back to those YouTube videos the last 2 weeks and listen to those again to get greater in-depth feeling, sensation around how to do all of that. So now we're going to move into the area of miracles and wonder. So it is so important in this time because we're still trying to navigate in our brains. We know there's going to be a lot of changes this year. We've heard that numerous times. Now we have to navigate that sense of, gee, how do we do that? How do we prepare for that? Do we just sit in, okay, I'm ready for the next shoe to drop or the next bomb to happen or the next great news story? That's part of why we go to the news often, is because we're like, what's happened? What's happened? Oh my gosh, I need to know so that I can be alert to it. Instead of sitting in the place of magic and wonder. I can't wait to see what's going to happen next. But this relates to the field of creation coming forward. So when we're in the field of magic and wonder, that's different than hypervigilance, which is, oh my God, what's going to happen next and what do I have to be prepared for? It puts us in the magic, which is above fear. Fear is down here going, oh. And magic and wonder is going, ooh, this could be so fun and so creative. I can't wait to see how we're going to transform this situation or that situation. How we as love are going to step through these fields, okay, that are going to come this year for clarification of greater truth and for the magic and wonder of how it can be transformed, transcended to come in. Much better, isn't it? And I often tell people to look at situations as the first step is to see it as fascinating creation. Whether it's an individual person sharing something with you that just doesn't feel like it's very love-oriented, or a whole collective of expression that doesn't feel right at all. And we could talk about all sorts of things as it relates to, in the United States anyway, Wall Street. We could talk about insurgents in India. The farmers are working in a huge way with the I don't know if they call it their government there, but anyway, the officials there that are trying to change the way farming is happening, and so many other things going on in the world that are up for the transformation. So it is vital for us to feel as though, wow, that's a fascinating creation first, because remember, it's bubbled up. It's been around for a long time. It didn't just come like a shotgun. What a funny way to put it, huh? It has been brewing for a while. So when we start to look at it with a sense of magic and wonder, miracle, outworking that's happening, we can have a wiser perspective and know how we can contribute and help towards the transformation process being easy and graceful for all concerned. At the same time, having tremendous compassion for the nature of struggle and strife and suffering that is occurring in this human world, because we have stepped out of the field of miracles and wonder. So one other thing along that line that I'm very aware of over and over again these years is how these years, we're in a second year of whoa, is how we react, respond, work with the people around us personally or in the larger sense that are doing things that just don't feel right and good and horrible and are absolutely destructive, etc. How do we deal with that? So not only do we start with, wow, that's a fascinating creation, but also, I don't know what the karma of these people is. I don't know their path. Everyone is on a path to come into a greater sense of themselves and their power and their place here. But along the way, far back, a lot of souls in their wound of separation, which we all have, are some wounds of separation from source, spirit, etc., got very lost in their connection. And the more lost you get, the more you have to struggle to feel like you have to belong to something. You have to be part of something to get your power back. Because if you feel lost, you don't belong, you don't know, you don't feel powerful, you feel very weak, impotent, like this world is not treating you well, etc., which becomes a little bit of a victim, but really it's just a lost soul, okay? Just a feeling of lostness. We all get that. Man, I have parts that are still like, what am I doing here today? And I realize that it's a part of my soul essence that has gotten lost, okay? More of the human dimension, actually, but it's connected to my soul that's gotten lost and wants to come back in, wants to belong to something. So I want to connect it to the guidance of love and creation. But often when we have these parts that are in fear, especially with things escalating, we feel more lost, like, oh my God, what do we hold on to? What is our anchor? What can we belong to give us a sense of power and movement forward? So often we will glom onto something that we find out later was not a wise choice, but in the moment, that's all we knew because we had to survive and belong. Years and years ago, in my 20s, I was part of something that was fabulous, but had cultish behavior to it. And at a certain point, I woke up and smelled the coffee and said, this aspect of my world isn't working for me anymore. But at that point, it did, with my own challenges that I was working with. This made this aspect that needed to come out of being lost felt special within this context. Ooh, I felt so special, so it made me feel better to join with something that made everyone feel special. So I felt special, but then I had to go into, whoa, how can I feel special for myself without having to get into this league of people who were not feeling special, and their glomming together would make them feel more special. And I know for those of you who don't have English as your first language, the word glom on will not make much sense. Have to be attached to, have connection with, either physically or emotionally, to other people, is to glom on to something. So you see, that can be all part of the path. So we don't, in essence, condemn people. We just go, wow, there is a need here, and they're reaching out in ways that aren't very healthy. So let us be an inspiration and an empowered soul that says these are the days of miracles and wonder. Come be with me where I am. As you step into joy, as you step into living life as a sacred revelation, as you look towards the future, towards life as being the field of miracles, and wonder, more of that energy will start to collect, and people who are lost, as parts of them or their whole soul is lost, will go, wow, there's a choice that feels very good to my heart, very good to my soul, and very good to my sense of purpose. So how do we help with that? We elevate who we are, how we're doing it. And one of the ways right now that's coming through is to see life as the field of miracles and wonder. So I said that quite a few times, but it helps instill in our brain and in our heart a whole new way of being, because we don't think in terms of miracles and wonder very often. So we have to sort of go, this is the way you can do it. This is the way you can do it. Miracles and wonder. Okay, great. So enjoy this new field you're moving into, this new way of being, and this new way to walk in your world with others so that we can create a world of miracle and wonder. Great to be with you in this new field together.